Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 30th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update, and then we should be good to go. Let's go ahead. A few more things here. All right, perfect. So with that said, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium real quick. All right, links all sent out. Got a few moments for people to make their way in. Perfect. All right, so it looks like people are making their way in right now. So I got a few moments for people to join, and then we will get started with our analysis for this morning. All right. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 30th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. So I'll get a few more moments for people to make their way into the room real quick, and then we will get started with our analysis for US30 this morning. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, guys. I don't know if you guys saw the news with Russia and I think Brazil. They're moving away from the US dollar. So it's going to affect the market, of course. And there's just other things. It's like a domino effect. Like that happens, and then a lot of other things get affected as well. Looking over here on CNBC, a couple updates from the stock markets. The stock futures rise as Wall Street bets banking crisis has stabilized. Live updates, as you guys can see over here. It was good news, and then price like literally came down, and then it corrected right back up. So a lot of back and forth movement this morning. We'll see where this ends up going, but as I mentioned before, there's no guarantee as to like where price is going to go. So for us, we don't really care because we're scalping. So we don't care if price is going up or going down long term. We just care about what's going on right now. So this isn't going to affect us too much. We don't really care about this stuff as much as others. But it's just good to know. It's good to understand, because if the market starts to move a little crazy, we'll be aware and make sure when to sit out of the market. I think for the most part, that's pretty much it. Some Ukraine war news going on over here. It says Ukraine war live updates. Russia detains Wall Street Journal reporter alleging espionage. The journal demands his release. Not the place to get caught up in Russia. Yeah. All right, so that's just some backstory to like what's going on in the market today. Let me check the calendar real quick, see if there's anything to look out for us. We had news over here at 5:30 in the morning, final GDP, unemployment claims, neutral unemployment claims, and then negative GDP. So we had news at 5:30. We have news at 7:30, and I think that's it. News at 5:30, news at 7:30. I'll mark that up real quick. So you guys can see how price kind of pushed up from right here. Huge fake out right there. 5:30, 7:30, and I'll check my FX books. I'm pretty sure there's more news today. Also, we have Fed member Kashkari speaking at 10:30 or 10 o'clock. So that's gonna be later on today, but just to be aware if you guys do trade after the live session that the Fed is speaking today. Let me refresh my FX book real quick. And you hear those pings, lots of momentum signals coming up and disappearing, it looks like, or momentum signals going both ways. So it looks like this sell momentum keeps coming up and disappearing. All right, so let me check the calendar for today. We had news over here at 5:30. We already marked that up. We got news over here at 7:30. We got that marked up. News at 8:30. And then Fed member Barkin speak at 9:45. We got a lot of Fed members speaking today. Fed member Barkin speaking at 9:45. Kashkari speaking at 10. Fed Waller speaking at this afternoon. So it's not necessarily Fed day, but the Fed is speaking a lot today with regard to the market. So what else did I miss here? There was news at 8:30. Okay. 7:30 and 8:30. And that's about it. All right, guys, market is opening in about a minute. So let's see what happens right here when market opens. I'm going to just mark up a couple of things over here as well. 6:30, market open. And again today, guys, we'll see how the market moves by 8 o'clock. If we don't get any entries and the market's still moving kind of slow, then maybe we'll see until 9. But if not, I'm not going to force anything. The only loss we had this week was after 8 o'clock. Should have just stopped, but it's all good. Live and you learn. All right, guys. Morning, Nick. Morning, Martha. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Karen. Morning, Maria. Morning, David. Morning, Stern. Morning, Jonathan. Morning, everybody. Morning, T. All right, guys. Looks like most of you guys are here so far. Market is opening in about 10 seconds. We'll see where this ends up going. There's no entry for us here because price already broke and closed below with the sell signal following it. So no entry here. You have a higher high sell signal, but this does not fit criteria. There goes the opening bell. Here's the entry for Vincent's strategy. I'm not in this entry, but this is Vincent's strategy right here. Would have hit full TP because Vincent's momentum signal right there would have broken close past the yellow pivot. The other candles over here didn't break and close past the yellow pivot, but they did break and close past the blue pivot. So there's no entry there for me, but there was an entry here for Vincent's criteria. If you guys were following that. Hey, bless. How's it going? Morning. All right, guys. So we'll see where this ends up going. I'm going to go and mark up opening price right here. There's opening price. Sessions are open. All right, guys. So now we'll see where this ends up going. So let's take a look at the so Nick provided the retail sentiment, 44% long, 56% short. Thanks, Nick, for the update right there. So that shows retail traders are currently selling right now. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame. So look at the longer term over here. Everything is still pretty bullish. So look at over here on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute long-term time frames are currently bullish still. Also, the 5 and 10 minute is still bullish. The only time frame that's really bearish right now is the 1 minute. So we'll we'll end up seeing where that's going. Here's a 10-minute chart. I identified a resistance, so price might come down for a while. I already knew the price was going to drop a little bit because we had a resistance here and we had a V1 variation off it. So yeah, we'll just take it as is, guys. We're not looking to force anything here. It doesn't really matter because there's nothing for us to take at the moment. Right now we have a lower low. So if we get price to break and close above the pivots above there with no high lows in between, possible entry for a buy. But right now, there's just nothing for us to necessarily hop into at the moment. All right. So again, guys, if you have a buy signal that closes above the there's a new lower low. So not yet. It's a new lower low right there, which is fine. Still waiting for this to swing back up. All right. So it's got to sit tight a bit. Not really too much movement here in our direction. We're looking for price to basically pull back above the, the pivots, but we don't have that yet. But the good thing here is that we still have the lower low. So I actually want price to drop lower because the more it drops, the more beneficial it'll be when it swings right back up. Because it's going to have to swing back up at some point. Can't keep dropping forever. It's going to retrace. So, all right, this candle right here is starting to push to the upside. Got about 20 seconds left on this candle. All right, so we got the lower low right here. Let's see if price pushes up from this point. If it doesn't push up, it's fine, but we're still waiting for possible entry here. So we're looking for a buy. Just an FYI, if you guys are wondering what we're looking for, we're just looking for price to break and close past the structure, which are the pivots 1 and 2, with a buy signal, buy momentum. And if we get that, we can write it up for at least 100 pips. All right, another lower low right here. Price just keeps dropping a little bit lower, which is perfectly fine. I wouldn't mind if price comes down and rejects off the sessions down here. So this purple line right here is the Asia high. Like I wouldn't really mind if price comes down and where's that arrow tool at? I don't know if you removed it. Oh, right here, path. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if price comes down here, bounces off the sessions and comes right back up. Like I'm fine with that if that ends up being the case. But it might not. So we have the lower low right here, guys. We have price pushing right back up. Let's see if price ends up providing a buy signal to push above the pivots. And then if we get that, then possible, push up higher. Yeah, Nick said, I'll probably hit the sessions jinx. Yeah, no, you're looking at the same thing, Nick, which is a good thing. We're both looking at the same thing here. Possible retracement to the sessions. If not, it's fine. We don't need it to come down to the sessions. We really just want to catch this momentum as it pushes back up. All right, so price is pushing up right here. If we get a buy signal, guys, and it breaks and closes past the pivots, then, possible entry right there for a buy. Hey, how's it going? Morning. All right. So no entries yet. Does not look like anybody took anything on open or pre-market. If you guys took the breakout, looks like the breakout might have hit TP already. The market open right there, or it's probably still running actually. Yeah, it looks like it's still running. Sorry guys, I hide in the back sneezing. All right, so it looks like we have a possible buy signal coming up right here. There we go. So there goes a buy signal that I was just anticipating. If this closes above the pivots, guys, possible entry for a buy there. It needs to close above the pivots with the buy signal though. So as you guys can see, I created these indicators so I can identify when these signals are coming up. I already saw this big green candle coming up, saw momentum filling. So I was like, okay, if this pushes up, it's going to close with a buy signal. If it closes with the buy signal above the pivots right here, then possible entry does not look like it's going to, so it does not close there. These are some crazy candles right now, guys. So we might want to be a little careful with these, any of these entries that are coming up just now. You might want to wait for the market to kind of stabilize a little bit because it's having trouble getting both directions. So it's having trouble getting below and it's having trouble getting above. Just huge wicks on both sides. Not exactly the best time to enter trades because you just don't know what's going to happen next. You can enter a trade and then price will just completely go the opposite the next second. So I wanted to sit tight for a little bit. Hey, LW, how's it going? Morning. All right, so there's another lower low right here. So this one's pretty much invalidated already. We got another one right here. And then waiting for this to possibly swing back up. Nice. Iceman said he was down 160 yesterday morning, and now he's up 870, cut off his sell. Nice. Solid. Visual traders asking, have you tried this strategy with tick chart, for example, 100 tick chart to 200 tick chart? No, I don't think we have the ability to use tick charts on here. Have you used tick charts on TD Ameritrade on Thinkorswim? I don't think you can choose ticks on here. Yeah, I don't think you use ticks on here. But I've used ticks before, not the specific strategy, but I've used ticks on Thinkorswim. We don't have the ticks on the trading view, or not that I know at least, because I don't see them on here. Unless they're called something else on here. Yeah, I don't see them on here. There's only a couple platforms that allow ticks or that have ticks. A lot of the older platforms that are like more, I don't even know anybody who still trades off ticks personally. But my other strategies used to work off ticks, so I'm assuming it would work if it did have that. Nick's asking, what exactly is a tick chart? Tick chart's based off movement. It's not based off time. So like these candles are based off times, like minutes. So we're on the 1 minute chart. The tick charts are based off movement. So like if you're on a 100 tick, you're gonna have a candle every time it moves 100 like ticks, like 100 pips basically. Whenever it moves like a little bit, that's where the candle will close. So it's different. Yeah, the only platform I know that has it is Thinkorswim. It's a good way of using if you're trading like momentum, like strictly momentum. Like if you use a tick chart, the momentum indicator works perfect on its own, like by itself. That's actually where I first created this indicator. So when I first created my indicators, I used to trade only on Thinkorswim. I didn't trade on TradingView, but I've been trading on TradingView for like, I don't know, like 8 years now, 7 years now. TradingView is just, TradingView is just like a lot more. It's more, it's just more. It's up to date, and they always update the platform. Like Thinkorswim hasn't been updated for like years, for like ever. So Eunice is asking, does it have to close above the low high? No, it doesn't. Not for this one. So it did for the previous one, Eunice, but for this specific candle right here, it doesn't need to because there's a lower low here now. Like there's a new lower low, so it just reestablished the time for entry. So if we were looking at this one over here, then yes, it would have to close above it. But now there's a new lower low, so we don't have to look for price to close above it because it's a whole new entry. Let's see. Visual traders said the reason I'm saying tick will give you better entry and you don't have to wait for the 1 minute candle close. Yeah, no, and I agree. Visual trader, like back when I used to trade, when I first started trading, I used to use the tick chart mostly for everything because I've been trading momentum for like ever. And the thing with momentum is that if you're trading on the tick chart, you're not going to have like these momentum signals disappearing. They because it's based off movement. So if the movement closes to a certain amount, the momentum won't disappear, it'll just stay open. So yeah, no, and I agree with you, visual trader, but this works fine with how we're trading now. So this is why I use this way. It's a good idea. Maybe I'll play around with it. And I'll see where that how that ends up playing out. Or I don't know if there's a way I could turn it on here. But yeah, when I used to trade like 10 years ago, that's how I used to trade off a tick chart. It does work well. Let's see, Nick said, watch for the close of this candle, might spike up last second. Well, at this moment, there's no entries anymore, guys. So the reason why there's no entries is because there's a lower high in between. So we have the lower low here. We have a lower high here. There's no room for entry unless price breaks and closes past the lower high here, which will make this lower high push up higher, which I don't think is going to happen. But anyways, price over here bounced off the sessions. So it may, push it from where it's currently at. Gotcha, Nick. Yeah. Yeah, no, it came up really fast and then it disappeared. But looking at where it's currently at right now, I don't know if we'll have any entry. Price has to break and close past the lower high here. So if it pushes past it, possible entry still. But at the moment, does not look like we have anything yet. Hey, Jacob, how's it going? Nope, did not miss anything. We had a couple close entries over here, but the candle never closed above the pivot. So there was no entry for us. We've been basically just waiting for this buy signal here to close. But as you guys can see, or as you can see now, Jacob, since you're just joining, a lot of these candles are very choppy. So huge wicks on both sides. If this candle here closes or just pushes above the lower high right here, then it's going to establish a new lower high. So if we get a buy signal and it breaks and closes past the lower high here, then there's going to be a possible entry for a buy. But you got to make sure to actually wait for the candle to close, because as you guys can see, it's had a lot of trouble getting past the pivots. It's had about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts right here to get past the pivots, and it's failed every single time. Failed again right there, so no entry. Nick was asking if I was going to take it. If it closed above, I would have taken it, but it didn't close above, so no entry here. And I don't think this one right here will close either. It's probably going to establish new lower highs in between, or new higher lows from now until the next possible entry point. So yeah, no entry here. Let's see, Visual Trader said you can also use range bar. For example, set the 10 range bar. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I've never used a range bar before. So I'll just play around with it. I'll just add it on there and see what it looks like. Interesting. So this is a clean chart. I don't know if this would work as well as what we're typically doing. Yeah, I don't think this would work, right? You can barely even see it. I mean, it looks like it does have the opportunity to work, but I don't know if it'll work. So this right here broke and closed below. Short position would have been right there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I don't think I would use a range bar. It's not like the ticks. The ticks are different. Like the tick, if you use tick charts on unless I could change the way that they look. I don't think you can though. Yeah, no, it doesn't really look as smooth. So if you use the same thing, like this thing that Visual Trader is referring to on Thinkorswim, it's different. They look like normal candles, but the candles are based off ticks versus range. So thanks for the heads up though, Visual. I mean, we got to take a look and it just didn't look right. So probably not something that I would personally use myself. All right, still no entries, guys. So don't worry, we're not missing anything here. There's still no entries here. There's a new lower low right there. We're basically just waiting for this here to provide us entry, but yeah, still nothing there. All right, let me go back and put up the bars real quick. All right. So no entries here yet, guys. Still waiting for this here to provide us entry, but there's just nothing for us to take right now. Iceman said, is there any afternoon sessions that you would recommend trading on US30 time-wise? So Iceman, if I trade Asia session, I typically will trade, if I'm trading Asia, I'll trade between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Pacific time. So that's typically where the volume is a little bit higher. It's not very high, but it's like it provides the gap in between Asia open and in the middle of basically London session. I don't trade after 10 because if you've ever traded after 10, you'll start to see a lot of weird movement because a lot of the pre-London movement is starting to happen. So for me personally, if I do trade during Asia, it would be between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is my cutoff. Once it's 10 p.m., I'm out of the position, whether I'm in profit or not, because typically around that time, you'll start to get a lot of like mid-market reversals like we do here in the New York session. That's when volatility is like, okay, but I don't even trade Asia anymore. But when I did trade Asia, that's like the only time I would typically trade. And I'd only be able to catch like maybe 1 or 2 trades because the volume would still be super low and the spread would be super wide. So I'd have to either go for a smaller TP or sometimes it would work. But I mean, a lot of the times the volume is very low. It's probably like maybe 30% of what's going on during New York session, if not less. But those are the times when I typically would trade. Yeah, I spent that sellers are really taking over right now. Yeah, at the moment, I think so, because there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. If you guys are just joining the room, I mentioned earlier this morning that there was news of like Russia and Brazil that are basically kicking the dollar. They're not using the dollar as their currency anymore. So, with that said, it's not going to be good for the U.S. economy, of course. And if that's not good for the U.S. economy, it's not going to be good for US30, which is the the leading index here for the US stocks. So, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I think price will probably correct back up though, because if you look over here on the higher time frames, price is still bullish across the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour time frames, and basically the 10. So long term, I think price will correct back up, of course, but maybe just for now, because a lot of the news that's happening behind the scenes is really affecting the market one way or another. So refresh CNBC real quick. If you look at CNBC, everything's still very bullish. So you can see over here, the Dow is currently up 153 points, S&P is up 26 points, NASDAQ is up 90 points, Russell 2K is up 12 points, and the VIX is currently down less than 1%. So with that said, majority of the indexes here are very bullish. We have a lower low over here. We have a possible buy signal coming up right here. If this closes above the pivots, then it's going to be an entry for a buy. But as you guys can see, there's no... I mean, it's been having a lot of trouble getting past the pivots here. You can see for the past maybe 20, 30 minutes now, price has not had any luck getting past the pivots here. It's maybe closed above the pivots once, but it's like not very much. So it's having a lot of trouble getting past the pivots right here. And it's at a point where it might be breaking below the session. So if this is the case, it might just continue dropping even lower. But I don't think it'll drop for too long. I think eventually price will have to correct back up, at least to some extent. Not expecting this to keep dropping forever. All right. So again, here, another lower low. So the setup is basically restarting again. So we had a lower low here. If the next candle is a buy signal and it breaks and closes above the pivots, then possible entry. The only problem here is that I don't like trading around the sessions. If you guys remembered from, I think, Monday or Tuesday, our only loss that we've had this entire month of March was because the trade was on the sessions. Typically, I don't care about it too much, but after taking that loss earlier this week, it's just the first loss for the, I mean, we've only had like one loss, but it was right at the sessions, which has always been kind of iffy for me, even without this strategy. So like one of the worst places for me to want to trade is going to be the sessions. As you can see over here, whenever price gets near the sessions, you can see here in the past, whenever price gets near it, a lot of manipulation happens. So that's basically what's happening again over here. Price gets near the sessions and you get a ton of manipulation. Price can really go either way. So just something to keep in mind, not to scare you guys, but just to keep you guys in the loop. Because, from my years of trading, I start to see a lot of these patterns and it kind of hints me not to take certain trades at certain areas. But here we go, as price continues to drop lower. Yeah, Jacob said he missed it on that loss, so he hasn't had a loss ever in this community. Yeah, so I think Jacob joined us a couple of weeks ago, maybe almost a month ago, and Jacob's been killing it. I think his whole profit since he joined this community is like over like 60, 70K, right? You've killed it like for the past couple of weeks or up to a month and had 0 losses. So yeah, 75K. Yeah, so Jacob made 75K after signing up with us here, getting the indicators and the strategies. He's been killing it. So Yeah, my main goal here is just consistency, guys. I want to make sure to only show you guys quality trades. Obviously, there's a lot of trades you guys can take. There was a momentum scalp right here. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there was a momentum scalp that came up right here. Or not, sorry, not a momentum scalp, a high-low scalp. So price broke and closed below the lower low right there. So there was actually an entry right there for a high-low scalp. So I'm not sure if anyone took that, but there's a lot of different opportunities here to catch entries. You don't have to just apply this one strategy, but from my understanding, this is probably the easiest and most accurate strategy to apply. There's only a few requirements here. You don't really have to confirm anything else. It's just what's on the chart. And then that's pretty much it. See, Jacob over here took a screenshot. So Jacob sent us. Yeah, so here's Jacob's profit loss for basically the past 3 weeks since he joined Kodi trade. So basically right here, he's up 75,974 and 53 cents off of his personal account. This is a personal, it's not even a funded account. It's a real account that he uses with IC markets. Lucky Jacob. If I had the opportunity to use IC markets, I'd use them as well. So if you guys want to use a regular broker, I think IC markets is probably one of the best options. They don't accept US clients though, so unfortunately, we can't use them. But yeah, nice work, Jacob. And this is just the beginning. So, Jacob's going to be here for the long haul. I mean, he's pretty much paid off his ability to pay for the indicators for like his whole life at this point. So I think he should be good to go. Stadium's asking you, Sean, why IC markets? From my experience, like in the past, I know IC markets wasn't the greatest like a long time ago, but they've made a lot of changes. So I think a long time ago, FTMO used to use IC markets as a broker for the data. So I used to use them before when they were on FTMO. I used to use IC markets and LMAX. Those are like the two good ones. They have good execution times, pretty good spreads, and there's usually not very many issues with them. So that's like a couple of the main reasons why I would use IC markets if it was available to us. We have US brokers, but with US brokers, there's always leverage issues. Like if you're using a US regulated broker, leverage is like 1 to 10 or like 1 to 50 max. Sometimes it's not, you can't really trade with, you got to have like a large amount of capital to trade with the regulated market or regulated broker. So for me, I don't even trade a personal account anymore. But if I do trade, I'm usually using a Hanko account, which is okay. They're not the best, but they're okay. All right, guys, possible entry right here. If price breaks and closes past the pivots over here with the buy signal, possible entry for a buy there. Satyam said, gotcha, I'm UK, so I'll look into it. Yeah, I definitely recommend looking into IC markets if you're in the UK. Nice. Dejan said he took that double body. Jacob said, I love IC because I get my money out 2 days later. All right, possible entry right here. I'll get to your question right now, Nick. The VPN wouldn't matter. Yeah, so the VPN wouldn't matter because you still have to do the KYC verification. So you could open an account, but you'll never be able to withdraw your money because you're not gonna be able to verify your identity. So it doesn't make sense to it wouldn't work. They don't pay you through Bitcoin, they pay you through like actual cash deposits or bank transfers because they're like a normal broker. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case. I know someone mentioned that the other day too. Okay, guys, so no entry here. Unfortunately, there's no entry because the buy signal didn't close above the pivots. Completely fine. Now we just wait for the next one. Yeah, because that would suck, Nick. If you went and did a VPN, opened IC Markets account, made a ton of profit, and then tried to withdraw it, you'd have to ask Jacob over here to withdraw for you. And you'd probably just keep it at that point. Yeah, no, that would suck if you were to do something like that. LW is asking, didn't close above what pivot exactly? It did close above the pivot, but there was no buy signal. LW. So it closed fine. If there was a buy signal there, there'd be an entry, but there was no buy signal that closed above the blue pivot. Yeah. So we're basically looking. So if you look over here at requirement 3, you're looking for price to break and close past pivot at pivot 1 and 2, or just 2. So either the green and the blue, or just the blue. So yeah, I mean, typically it's going to have to close over the green regardless, but it can either close above both of them at the same time, or it just close over the blue. So like, for example, right here, this candle closed above the green, but didn't close above the blue. So this wouldn't have been an entry if there was a buy signal. But if this one here had a buy signal, it would have been an entry. Yeah, when you go over the requirements here, LW, you just got to go over them step by step. So first, identify higher, higher, lower, low. We had the higher, high right here. We were basically waiting for that buy signal. And then for that buy signal, we would have waited for it to close above the pivots 1 and 2, or just number 2. So pretty simple, just a 3-step process, not very difficult and straightforward. Yeah, no problem, LW. Yeah, Jacob said you actually can't even deposit anymore without KYC. Yeah, and you know what? With that situation that I mentioned, Jacob, that probably happened to somebody where they made deposits and then they try to withdraw and they're like, oh, you can't withdraw because you're not from the, you're not allowed to make an account with them. So I think I'm pretty sure, it probably happened to somebody. Whenever they make changes like that, it's because an issue arose with someone else in the past. It's the same with like any company, right? Like if you're like like if you ever go like snowboarding or somewhere, right? I'm pretty sure they didn't have like those signs where it's like, snowboarders showing risk until someone like broke their neck going down a hill. There's always like something that happens, and that's why they create, changes. Let me scroll up real quick. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Jonathan said, looks like I'm moving to Mexico. Let me see if there's anything. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Morning. B's asking, have you looked at Renko charts? I've looked at Renko charts in the past, but I haven't looked at them lately. I mean, they do look interesting. I just don't know how to use them because I haven't used them enough to understand. Yeah, CJ said that last possible buy entry was like, I'm going to close past, never mind. Yeah, no, the market today has been very wacky. The reason why I'm being a little careful today too is because Sisuk actually, is he on here? Yeah, Sisuk's on here. He messaged me this morning before we went on the live, and he told me like the market's super wacky, so he's not even sure if he's going to trade. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, that's probably the better decision to be a little safer today. Because if Sisuk says it's crazy, then it's probably crazy because Sisuk trades through like anything and he still makes a ton of profit every day. So if he has like input and says, okay, the market's probably not going to move smooth today, it's probably not moving smooth, and he was 100% right. You can see over here, every candle has some huge wicks. Like the wicks here are crazy on both sides. You typically don't see the candles move like this. I mean, it's a smooth move down, but there's a lot of huge, wicks on both sides. So no, probably a good decision. I listened to Sisuk this morning. Let me scroll up real quick. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, exactly. And Nick mentioned that Sisuk's been profitable for years now. Yeah, 100%. That's why it's best to probably listen to people who know what they're talking about. All right, so there's still no entry here. We never got that buy signal. So we currently have another lower low right here. If price pushes back above and we get that buy signal, another possible entry. I think eventually, guys, price is going to have to come back up. Price has been dropping for so long. It's way overextended. It's due for a retracement back up. If price does retrace up from where it's currently at, target price point is always going to be opening price. If realistically, price hasn't moved that much. It looks like it's moved a lot, but it's only moved 800 pips, which is not that much. It typically moves like about 1,000 pips by now. So it's basically a slow drip to the downside. But yeah, the actual volume here is not very high. It's moving, but it's just not very high. All right, let me just scroll up real quick. Let's see. So Kevin said price may drop for a little while because it rejected off a 4-hour area of resistance. Yeah, I saw that too on the 10-minute right here, Kevin. So I marked this up pre-market. The reason why I had a feeling this was going to drop was because we had a higher high right here. And then we had a rejection off this point, and it was also a V1 variation. It was a double body. That's why I kind of knew price was going to come down a little bit because this was a reversal pattern, but I just wasn't sure how far it was going to drop. So here it goes. It comes right back down. The next area of rejection would be this area right here. So if we get another rejection off that point with variation V1, V2, then it'll possibly bounce from this point and come right back up. Right. No guarantee it's going to come down, but if it does, bounce right back up from that point. But we'll come back and take a look at that. I mean, I don't really care what's going on the higher time frames. We're just looking for what's going on here because that's really all that matters for us since we're scalping. But just, you know, a little bit of a overview of what we might see possibly play out. All right. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Scroll down real quick. Yeah, Iceman said, yeah, you're right, Kevin. Very unpredictable. Visual traders asking, can we use this setup on MT4 platform? No. So I've never translated my indicators to a MT4. The platform is just too dated. You know, MT4 looks like you're trading on like a 1990s computer compared to like trading view here. So you know, if I was to transfer this over to MT4, it's kind of like backwards. I'm going backwards. So I never planned on porting this over to MT4. Everybody uses TradingView now, so it shouldn't be a big deal for people to trade this way. Like for me personally, I do all my analysis on TradingView, and the reason why I like TradingView as well is because we have like actual data from the exchange. YM data from the exchange is, this is like probably the best data that you can get when you're trading futures, because you're getting it directly from the Chicago Board of Trade. So you can see here, this is directly from the exchange. There's no broker here that's like basically signifying price or like changing spread and stuff like that. This is like literally directly from the exchange. So comparing this to like MT4, if you're on MT4, you're using broker data from like, you know, a certain broker. So for me personally, I don't plan on ever porting this over to MT4 because that'd just be backwards. I'd be going backwards if I did that. Yeah, I think the other, like I could probably port some of the indicators over to MT4, but the momentum indicator for sure not, because it's just too dated on MT4. These momentum indicators that I created, they use like certain data points that I don't think are available on MT4, so they wouldn't be as accurate. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll over here real quick. NM is asking, can you take a trade if the candle after the signal closes above or below the pivots, or it needs to be on the signal candle? Yes, NM, that's correct. It needs to be on the signal candle. So for my strategy, it has to be on the signal candle. For Vince's strategy, he would look for basically what you're saying. So if you're applying Vincent's strategy, it's a little different. He waits for it to break and close past the pivot 3 over here. So he actually has the opportunity to take it late. But for me personally, I don't like taking it that late because it's usually overextended at that point. There's another breaking close below this lower low here, guys. So if you guys saw that high-low scalp, there was another possible entry there. I didn't take the entry, but I just wanted to show you guys. For you guys who are taking it, I did see some profits get posted in the group. So there's another entry right there. Not this strategy, but this is a high-low scalp, not a high-low momentum scalp. So there's another entry that came up right there. Looks like some of you guys here did take that entry. So Zach over here is currently up 1,393 for the day. Nice work, Zach. We have Dejan over here, total profit of 500 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. We have Natasha over here. She's trading from home today. Nice work, Natasha. Total profit of 330 for the day. All wins. She took those sells on the way down. We've got Kenny over here, took the sell on the way down as well. Total profit of 300 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. All right, guys. You guys are doing great. Here is Kip. Kip's currently up 3,910 for the day. Took those sells on the way down and then caught that bounce back up. Possible entry here, guys, if price ends up breaking, closing past the pivot. So just keep that in mind. You're looking for that right there. I'll go back to the chat real quick in a little bit after this candle closes to see if there's any more possible entries. Let's go down real quick. CSUK over here, total profit of 1,800 for the day on this account. Nice work, CSUK, catching that push to the downside. Here's CSUK second account, total profit of 1,150. Full TP on that one as well. And CSUK's third account, total profit of 1,100 for the day. Solid work, CSUK. And that's pretty much it for right now. Let me go back to the charts. We got 10 seconds left on this chart. If the candle breaks and closes past the pivots with the green buy signal, possible entry for a buy. If it doesn't, then it's just another waiting game. All right, guys, so we got to wait again for this next one. So no entry off that. Let me go back to the chat real quick. Here's Eunice, total profit of 87.41 right here for Eunice. So nice work right there, Eunice. Here's Marco. Oh, dang. So I guess you could set a tick chart on TradingView. Gotcha. Thanks, Marco. I'll take a look at that in a little bit. So Marco actually showed us how to open the tick chart. Yeah, I'll take a look at that a little later when we have like some more downtime. I just don't want to miss any trades. But thanks, Marco, for the heads up, because it's a game changer if we could maybe try and incorporate that. Anyways, no entries right now, guys. I don't think we're going to have anything anytime soon. Price is still kind of bouncing around. Let me go down the list over here. NM is asking, have you looked into automating your strategy? I think it can be done fairly easily. You can use alerts from TradingView to take trades on your MT4. Yeah, my brother knows how to do that. So he hasn't done it yet, but we'll probably be working on that in the future. I haven't automated yet because I asked him to. Let me see if he's even in here. Is Justin in here? No, he's not here. Yeah, I asked him to do it like a couple of weeks ago, but he never did it. I'll have to keep bugging him about it. But yeah, no, he knows how to use webhooks so that the alert, so we can set an alert for when an entry comes up and then it'll automatically fill the trade on MC4. So the only problem with that is that there is a bridge in between TradingView, webhook, and MC4, right? Because these scalps are really fast. So if that's the case, it might not be fast enough to execute on time. But I mean, we'll see. I'll have to ask him about it. He knows how to do it though, because he's automated a couple of my other strategies. We create a back test script for it. That's what I wanted him to do. Create a back test script for it, and then we can test it and see if it works. And if it works well, then automate it. Yeah, because if we could automate this from like 6:30 to 8 or 6:30 to 9, it'll be a crazy, crazy game changer. Iceman's asking how I get into your Discord and collab with other traders. So if you scroll down below the YouTube, Iceman, look in the description. We don't have a Discord, but we are on Telegram. So if you scroll down, you can sign up to the free intro course. If you go to the website, so the easiest way is to go to the website. Go to kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click unlock your free access right here. And once you click on this, it'll give you access to the free intro course. And then it'll also give you like all the links to everything. So like all the telegrams, my email, phone number, all that stuff. If you want to get in touch with anybody in the group, that's how you would do that. So when you sign up for that, it'll give you access to all the public groups. And then obviously, if you want to get into the premium groups, then you could if you want, but it's not necessary. Yeah, Jonathan said way more scammers and trolls on Discord. Yeah, no, I tried to, so a couple of years back, we tried to make the move to Discord, but we just realized that it was just the same thing as Telegram. There was some options that were cool on there, but we were mainly trying to get away from trolls and scammers on Telegram. They just ended up going to Discord. So there's like there's actually more scammers and trolls on Discord now because everyone kind of made the switch, and then all the scammers know how to like use Discord now. So we just never really made that switch. We just ended up staying here. Patrick said Justin's fired, right? Here's Martha's profits for the day. So Martha's currently up 1,020 for the day. Nice work, Martha. She checked the sell earlier for the high-low scalp. So solid work there. There's another high-low scalp right here, it looks like. I'm not taking the high-low scalp though, so just keep that in mind, guys. I'm looking for this entry here to come up, the high-level momentum scalp. LW said, if you automate it, make sure to add news filter to pause it during big news events. Yeah, no, even if I was to automate it, LW, I would probably still be around. Like I'd still be here on the live sessions with you guys and then following it. So if like the market starts to move kind of weird, I'll just turn it off, right? I think that's probably the best way for, that'd be the best way for me to kind of make adjustments and stuff so that it's not just running mindlessly. So like, for example, right now, if the market's moving weird like this, I would just turn off the automation. So it wouldn't take any trades. So I would still be actively managing it. So even if I was to automate the strategy, I would still be analyzing the charts every morning to make sure that I don't like, it doesn't screw up on me or like it doesn't get caught in like some whipsaw moves. So yeah, don't worry. Even if we automate the strategy, guys, I'll still be here trading with you guys live. I personally like trading. You know, a lot of people automate strategies because they don't like trading. Like they think trading is stressful or they're just not good at it or they can't follow directions. For me, I've been trading for like over 10 years now. So doing this stuff is like fun to me. Like I just hang out with you guys here on the live session and we make money on these sessions here. Nothing's going to change even if I do automate it. I'll still be here trading live and analyzing and doing the same thing we've been doing. Like the discipline right now that I have to like not enter into these trades is a lot of people can't do that, right? Like for example, we see a lot of high-low scalps coming up right here. And yeah, technically I could enter these trades, but I know my discipline and I'm only following this strategy right here. So even though I do see a bunch of entries here coming up and I see you guys profiting, I'm not going to like funnel into these trades and just hop into these sells, even though like I'm looking for a buy here. Because there's like a couple entries that came up here. It looks like there's about like 1, 2, 3, about 3 or 4 entries that came up and I didn't take any of them. Because it's all just, it's just the discipline. Because there's a ton of opportunities out there. It's just like, I'm looking for those high quality opportunities, not necessarily every opportunity. Yeah, let's see. Andrew said he used to automate some trades with a Pine connector to MT4, but when the market goes crazy, it can put your trades in really late. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Andrew. That's why it's hard to automate these scalping strategies because these entries come up super quick, and if you miss it by like a couple of seconds, you're pretty much screwed because the trade would have hit TP by then. Yeah, Nick said trading alone freaking sucks. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the whole reason I created this community because I used to trade solo every day, like every morning, and it just gets boring. It gets boring and it gets lonely when you trade by yourself because you'll start to like get into your head and you'll start taking bad entries and you'll just start to do random things in the market. For me here, when I'm trading live with you guys, I can't make mistakes because if I make a mistake, this thing's going to be on YouTube forever, right? Because I live stream every single trading session. So if I make a mistake and I lose, you guys are going to remember me for that loss. So that's why we don't really lose on here. It's the reason why we have such a high win rate because I'm very disciplined and I'm very focused when I'm trading. So it helps me. Like a lot of people ask, why do I trade live? I trade live because it actually helps me. It prevents me from taking dumb trades and prevents me from over trading, revenge trading, etc. Because you guys are watching me like throughout the entire session. So I can't really make mistakes. Let's see. Yeah, LW said also have to reduce risk on automated stuff. I use a lot of automated trading, and even if they work great, you cannot hope for the same results as manual trading. unless you got a crazy good AI developer, but you would sell that EA to banks and firms for millions if that's the case. Exactly. Yeah, right. LW. The thing with like automated trading too is that you guys have to make adjustments to a lot of things. The market's always changing. So yeah, once the banks and institutions get a whiff of like your automated trading and that it works, they're going to trade against you. So yeah, I personally like manual trading. Yeah, Andrew said I also had a problem where it would hit TP on TradingView, but with the spread, it never closed on MT4 and he lost. Yeah, that was another problem. Yeah, the problem with a lot of these things, guys, is the spread, execution times, and the lag between platforms. It's always going to be some issues. Dijon's going to call it a day about his trade in, so we'll see us on Friday. Yeah, definitely, Dijon. We'll see you back here on Friday. Christian said the high-low scalp hit. Yeah, so if you guys took the high-low scalp that I just mentioned earlier, I said that price broke and closed below here. If you guys took the trade, it looks like it already hit full TP. So I think Christian took it. Yeah, Christian caught it and Sisu caught it. So nice work, guys, if you guys caught that sell right there. Maria said 49 candles without a green momentum. I know it's crazy, right, Maria? This thing's been dropping for like a long time now. Let's see, market opened over here at 6:30. Price has been dropping ever since. So from 6:30 till now, it's been, yeah, it's about 50 bars now. So about 50 minutes with a continuous drop here. It's just a matter of time until price swings back up. We got the lower low right there. If this candle breaks and closes past the pivots with the buy signal, possible entry for a buy here. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen on this specific candle, maybe the next one. All right, pending buy signal. If this buy signal breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2, or past the blue pivot at least, then yeah, possible entry for us here. Nice. Some more profits over here. I'll take a look at the profit shortly, guys, after this candle closes. I just want to make sure we don't miss an entry after we've been waiting for like, almost an hour now for this one entry to come up. All right, does not look like we're getting an entry again here, unfortunately. Yeah, so no entry there. We still have an opportunity here on this next candle, though. So if this candle actually pushes up, possible entry there, but we'll see. Let's see, LW said, I know a dude who is freaking genius and developed AI for big firms like BlackRock and stuff. They're deeper into human perception and habits than I could imagine, than I can even imagine, not just on technical standpoint, but yeah, exactly. Psychology is like the main thing. I feel like a lot of those big firms, LW, what they do is they try to identify how people think, right? If people think price is going to come down, they'll do the opposite and buy. And then vice versa. If they think price is going to go up, they'll do the opposite and sell. That's kind of how we trade too. That's why we use retail sentiment to identify where people are trading. But yeah, it is a little crazy. All right, guys. So if this candle here closes with a buy signal, possible entry for a buy, but does not look like it's going to close. Another pending buy signal. Yeah, the volume has died down a lot. If you guys can see, the candles are barely moving now. Yeah, the volume's way too low. So again, another possible opportunity here, but this candle has to break and close past this lower high. So it needs to go up pretty heavy. Yeah, Maddie says sideways till news. We got news over here at 7:30 in about 10 minutes. All right, there might be an entry right here. It's got to close with that buy signal though, so just keep that in mind, guys. Got to wait for it to actually close. Got about 15 seconds left on it. Don't enter early, actually wait for it to close. Does not look like it's going to close. All right, well, there goes our opportunity. No entry. Now we got to wait for it to come back down. So buy signal did not close. No entry for us here. Now we got to wait for a higher high to establish. Yeah, Maddie said annoying. Nick said booty. Jacob said, why are you teasing me? Yeah, I know the market today is not how it's been lately. It's been I don't know how CSEC knew this was going to happen, but CSEC already predicted this was going to happen. Like the market was going to move all weird today. Yeah, CSEC said it's all the factors. Yeah, crypto said end of month BS. Nick said makes sense with the news. Yeah, there's a lot of news going on in the world, like the news I mentioned earlier with like Russia and Brazil and China. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on, plus the Fed's talking today. So, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have days like this. This is where your discipline comes in the most. Because if you guys can handle yourself and not like FOMO into trades when the market's not really giving you anything, I think that's the main key. Because I feel like a lot of people, whenever they blow their accounts, it's because they start to FOMO, revenge trade, and overtrade. That's typically like the only reason people mess up is trading. It's because their psychology gets in the way. Let's see, let's scroll up real quick. Let's see. Gian said we just need a green strip so that we can catch a red strip on the way down. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking for right here, guys. We got the buy signal now. So we're looking for a higher high, and we're looking for a sell signal to push price down lower. CJ said, was it last Thursday that we waited 2 hours for an entry? I think so. What was last Thursday? Let me check the calendar real quick. Last Thursday was the 23rd. So let me just scroll up real quick. Yeah, no, you're right. That was the one entry we took. So yeah, CJ, looking over here on the 23rd. So this is Thursday. We took this one entry, but we didn't have the entry until 8:33. So we were sitting on the chart for like 2 hours, like literally for the entire live session from 6:30 to 8:30. And then we finally got that entry that we had one entry. And it was a full TP, but it took a really, really long time for it to hit. It's crazy that CJ, you remember that. But yeah, it's exactly 1 week ago from today, last Thursday. So maybe it's just a pattern. It's a pattern where the market kind of moves like this on Thursdays. I mean, who knows? It seems like that might be the case if like it's moving exactly how it was last week. Tyler said maybe drop down to that next session before it stabilizes. I could see that too, Tyler. Nick said charts always move uncertain when big world changes happening. Yeah, I agree, Nick, 100%. See, Maddie said the way I look at trading is I have an hour and 30 minutes on live every day to work on myself as a trader. Got to use your time wisely in a way that'll benefit your discipline rather than your P&L. Yeah, 100%, Maddie. I agree with you. Yeah, if you guys can focus on your discipline, I think that's the main key. Because like there's a lot of entries here that we could have taken, but I didn't take any of them. I just to focus on this one strategy right here. Let's see. Joe Gold is asking who is CC. I mean, I don't know who is CC. I don't think we have a CC here in the group. Not that I know of, at least. Unless you're in the wrong chat. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a CC here. Oh, C-Souk. Yeah. Might be referring to C-Souk. C-Souk's one of our oldest members here in the group. C-Souk's been trading with me before, like, this was even a community. Like, when I first started the group, I think C-Souk was, like, one of the first people. Like, basically, whoever's, like, a mentor now has been, like, one of the first people in the group a long time ago, for the most part. Aside from Patricia too. C-Souk, Patricia, CT. Maddie's new, but I know Maddie personally, so he's like one of the mentors too. He's basically like my little prodigy. Yeah, you're right, Nick. I'm pretty sure he's referring to Sisu. Um, so this is a possible entry for Vince's strategy, like Satya mentioned. Yeah, you're right, Satya. That was a possible entry for Vince's strategy because there was a lower low here, buy signal right here, and then price broke and closed past the yellow pivot. So you're right. Not one I would take. I'm not in this position. I don't really follow Vince's. Vince's works good too, but I personally don't follow it. But it is close to news. So this is a reason why Vincent wouldn't have taken it, because Vincent, he has the rule where he doesn't trade 5 minutes before and after news. So for me, I would have taken it if it was like my strategy, but for Vince's, he doesn't, or Vincent's, he wouldn't take it because it's so close to news. So yeah. Nick said could get a sell very soon. I agree, Nick. So right here we have a higher high. You get a sell signal, it breaks and closes below the pivots, possible entry for a sell. The only problem is that we have news coming up right here at 7:30. So let me check the news real quick. I want to see what it is. It's just natural gas storage. So it's not going to be anything crazy high impact. So if I do get an entry around that time, I'll probably still take the trade. Keyword probably, not for sure, but I'll probably take the trade. So I mean, we'll see. It's got to wait and see how it plays out. But not exactly looking to commit to it just yet. Might even come down on the news candle. So on this red line over here, the news candle might come up, and then the sell signal might come up on that one specifically for news push. All right, we got the news candle coming up in about 10 seconds. Let's see some more profits over here from Patrick Kerr. Patrick took the trade for the high low right there, high low scalp, total profit of 580 for the day. Nice work, Patrick. Here's Natasha, took another trade over there, total profit of 600 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Natasha. So solid work right there on Natasha's side. Crazy. I'll take a look at this later, Jacob. So thanks for sending me that. Some more profits over here from Sisu. Sisu's currently at 3,500 on this account, all wins. Nice work, Sisu, on that one. We have Sisu's second account, total profit of 3,450, all wins as well. And Sisu's third account, total profit of 4,000 for the day. So great work right there, Sisu. We've got Tom over here, total profit of 1,890 for the day. Nice work, Tom. And I think that's it for right now. So, all right, guys, we have the news candle right here. I'm gonna go and mark up news price. All right, we got the higher high right here. If price ends up coming down below the pivots right there, possible entry for a sell, but we just do not have that set up just yet. Iceman said, I guess the buyers had enough. I know, right? We'll see if it comes right back down. Or if it continues pushing up. So I actually like when price starts to range back and forth like this because it provides for more entries for us. But I mean, that's kind of what we're waiting for right here. We're just looking for that sell signal to come below, or it can establish a new higher high. Doesn't matter. Either way, if it establishes new higher high, it's still going to provide us entry. So another higher high right there. We're just looking for price to come back below. Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, Patrick said Vince's strategy hit. So if you guys take Vince's strategy right here, it's basically similar to mine, except he uses pivot 3 instead of 1 and 2. His strategy right there would have hit full TP for whoever caught it. Really close, but still hit. Yeah, Maddie said market has been having no volume at all this morning. Movements are so slow. Yeah, exactly. Actually, no, you're right. Yeah. So Nick said, wasn't it too close to be considered Vince's strategy? Yeah. So actually, it was too close to news. So I mean, I don't think Vincent would have taken it. I wouldn't have taken it for his, but yeah, I think I don't think it would have been considered an official entry because of the news price that was too close. All right. So we have a possible sell signal coming up right here. I saw it come up. It's a pending sell signal. So if that sell signal breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2 down here, then there will be a possible entry for a sell. But about 20 seconds left on this candle, so we still have some time. Ten seconds left. All right, nothing on that. All right, we just got to wait around a bit. All right, next candle right here. Question from Loki. Loki's asking, Sean, can you show me how you choose YM? I'm trying it, but what it shows on TradingView is the other way around. So if you type in YM on your chart, Loki, just click on. So you have to pay for this data as well. I don't know if you're aware of that, Loki, but just to pull up the data on your chart, just click on the chart, type in YM, and then it should be the first one right here. YM futures. Okay, possible sell signal, but this candle is pretty big. So what I might wait for here, guys, if it does close, I might wait for it to retrace up a little bit and then maybe enter for a later entry. You gotta wait for the candle to actually close though. The candle has closed. I'm gonna let it pull back a little bit and I'll hop in. See if I could set this up right here because the candle is just kind of big. It has to retrace a little bit. All right, so I'll put my sell stop there. All right, let me see if it's filled. I didn't fill yet. Weird. Start pricing off. That would have filled for me, but it didn't. So my pending sell stop is still waiting, guys. Not in it yet. But I have a sell stop that's waiting right here, guys. So when it fills, it's going to just automatically fill and then it's going to run from there. All right. So mine has filled. Let's see where it's at on here. Mine looks different on the MT4. I don't know why the alert is like below the TP on there. It's been doing that lately. Whenever I set my alerts. So it looks like it hit my TP, but it didn't close it out on my MT4. So I'm still holding on to it right now. Nice. Satyam said he got in for better entry. So he got in when it pulled back and then he got out already. Man, the way the market's been moving lately is just it's been kind of trash. Well, right now it's like super slow. Typically it would be moving faster, but like usually this thing would be down already. So just waiting for it. And the volume is like super down. Let me just turn on the volume over here real quick. Yeah, it looks like the volume kind of died down a bit right here. As you guys can see, this candle had a lot of volume and then it just started to die down slowly as price started to move along further. Nice. Richie got in on the pullback. Let's see. So Pam said it closed her out, but not at full TP. Yeah, it didn't close me out yet. It should have closed me out. I saw the thing flickering yellow, and it didn't close me out. So I'm still stuck in it, unfortunately. Let's see. Nice. Dan said he got in for a discount, hit his full TP. Yeah, man, he said hates when it does that. It's annoying. Yeah, because it was flickering like yellow, and then it didn't pull me out. And then I was gonna close out manually, but I never got the alert over here on TradingView, so I just held on to it. So I'm still holding. But the way that it's moving right now is just the volume super low, and then the volume is just really low. That's like the main thing to look at right here. Because the way that it's currently moving right now is just going back and forth a lot. Typically this would hit after like the first, candle or two. Yeah, Maddie said, yeah, now when it flickers yellow, he just closes it out. Yeah, I was gonna do that earlier, but I wasn't paying attention. And then now I'm like stuck in it. Because it did hit TP, but whatever. The spread kind of screwed me. Fuck, if this hits my stop loss. Fuck. So unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna eat the loss on this. I'm gonna count this as a loss. It hit my TP, but then it didn't close me out. I don't know what, that was probably the spread, but it's all fine. It's okay. I'm gonna count this as a loss. It happens. So the thing with this, guys, is you just have to understand that losses are gonna happen. Looks like a lot of you guys did pull out for profit, so that's a good thing. But I'm going to count this as a loss because it hit my stop loss. So I just want to be transparent with you guys. Losses do happen. Just bounce on to the next one. I should have pulled it though. That's what I've been doing all week. So if you guys notice, like pretty much this whole week, I've been pulling it earlier because as soon as it hits TP, it ends up, pulling back like this. But like for the entire week, it's been hitting TP. Like it'll hit TP and then it'll pull back and then it'll come right back down and just shoot down straight into profit. For this instance, it didn't happen, but it's all good. The market's been moving weird all day today, so I'll take that as a hint that the market's not on my side today. So I'll just give you guys an update here. This trade hit TP for some and stop loss for others. I'll just say, but stop loss for. Yeah, the market's moving unusual today. We kind of expected it, but it's all good. I eat the loss on that one. But it looks like a lot of you guys here did make profit on it. Gian took the loss too. Maddie here closed out the profit. So Maddie actually got profit on that one. Made 803 off it, 600. So that's solid right there, Maddie. Gian never took the loss, completely fine. I took the loss with you guys. So small loss right there. Small loss for the week. This whole week's been kind of like weird lately. You guys have noticed. So Natasha here actually closed out in profit. She's up 700 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. So you guys will see half the people here probably took a loss. Some people took a win. Kenny over here actually took the win. Total profit of 410. Nice work, Kenny. Here's Jacob over here. Jacob over here took the win as well. Total profit of 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Jacob. Who else we got over here? Kenny up 410. Patrick here, small loss. It's all good. Yeah, I took a half loss right there. Patrick over here, he said not going to press his luck today, so he took it as well. Total profit of 900. Nice work, Patrick. Eunice over here as well. Eunice took the loss too. It's all good. So it looks like half of us took the loss, half of us took the win. It's all good. It happens in the market. Eunice over here took a small loss too. So it's all good. Just one more win, you'll be back in profit, Eunice. Chow over here too took the loss with me. And Christian over here took the loss too. So it's all good, guys. Let's look for that next trade so we can bounce back and maybe offset some of that loss. Unfortunately, we got caught in that move there. But you guys can see the market's been kind of like very unusual pretty much all day. I turn on the volume indicator down below and we saw the volume start to die down. So that was like probably one of the main red flags. when the volume started to die down a little bit, that's kind of what kind of threw me off a little bit, because usually these trades will hit within the first minute or two. This trade was holding on for about like 5 minutes until it ended up going the other way. So it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, Frederick said, Sean, I think the market is having some changes today, yesterday, and Tuesday have been trash for him. Yeah, no, for us, well, no, actually, the market's been really good for us the past couple of days, but I do notice that the market has been having a bit of some changes. I think so for this week so far, let me just check real quick. All right, so for this week so far, we've had, let me count the wins and the losses. We've had 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, one loss. So 5 wins, 1 loss, 6 wins, 7 wins. So 7 wins and 2 losses. So we're still technically in profit for the week so far. 7 wins, 2 losses. So it's not a horrible week, but it's not the best week. We hadn't had any losses the entire month of March. So I think, it's about time that these losses start to roll in towards the end of the month. So we have 2 losses for the entire month of March. And then we have 7 wins for today, or for this week. So for the month of March so far, we're currently up. We have 20 wins and 2 losses for the entire month of March. So we still have a pretty good month overall. It's just this week's been kind of off, like you said, Frederick, and it happens. The market's going to do that sometimes. The thing that I've noticed over the years, if you guys have seen the results, typically there's like the entire month is good, and there's like 1 week out of the month that's usually kind of iffy. And this seems like this is the month, the week for us, where the week has been a little been kind of back and forth. So let me see if there's anything else over here real quick. All right, so let's see. I'm still looking for another entry, guys. So don't worry, we're not missing out on anything here. Still waiting for something else to come up. So you got a higher high right here. We're looking for price to break and close again below it for another possible entry for a sell. The other red flag here that I would have kind of pointed out for this entry, guys, was that this candle here was too big, right? And it closed at like the very last second. So for this candle right here, typically I like when the candle closes pretty normal. Like for example, right here, see how we have a higher high and this candle closed like kind of normal as a regular candle. This one came down smoothly. For this one over here, this candle was just a huge spike basically. And that's why it kind of threw us off a little bit. Plus the volume was dying down. So after that came down and just kind of just faded a bit. We have another possible entry right here. If this candle closes below the blue line with a sell signal, possible entry for a sell right here. So we got 30 seconds left on this candle. And we'll see where this ends up going. All right, so I don't think this here is going to close. Yeah, it's not closing. Or if it does close, it does not look like it's going to close below. All right, so no entry there. See a question from Nadia real quick. Nadia is asking if the high-low scalp hit. Which one are you talking about, Nadia? I think you're talking about this one right here, right? And that's the only one that came up. Yes. So yeah, that would be a high-low scalp. Well, I mean, I can't really tell because I don't know what the overall direction is, Nadia. Did you check all the requirements? Because you got to check all the requirements for the high-low scalp. There's more requirements. It's not just a break and close. Yeah, so it probably wasn't an entry for a high-low scalp because it looks like the market was a sell right here. So you have to confirm overall bias, retail sentiment, fundamentals, technical bias. I think sentiment was a sell for right now, right? Because that's what Nick mentioned earlier this morning. He mentioned that sentiment was for a sell. So I don't think this here would be a high-low scalp because you'd have to look at the overall bias here. So, I mean, if you're looking at the basic requirements, then then yeah, it would probably be an entry, because if you're just looking for the breaking close, that would be an entry. But the first step here is to confirm overall bias. So if you haven't confirmed that, you can't move on to the next steps. So just keep that in mind. Nadia, if you want to review the strategy, go pull it up. But I think the overall trend right now is still bearish. Yeah, so it's bearish here on the 5, 10, and 1. So it's not, you wouldn't really be looking for a buy there if, if that was the case. So just an FYI, if you want to go back and review it. All right. So other than that, let me scroll up real quick. NM is asking, can you modify the momentum indicator in order to get more entries? I mean, you can, but why would you want to do that, right? You want quality entries, not quantity of entries. So that's like a big thing too with a lot of people, not just NM, but like a lot of people, they think just because there's more entries, they're going to be more profitable, right? You're probably going to be losing more money if you have more entries because you're not going to be quality. The settings that I have everything set to are to provide quality entries. So yes, I mean, there's always going to be different ways to identify different entries. Like I have 30 strategies. There's a lot of entries here that you could have taken versus just this one that we're looking at. So I don't think the thing that you'd really want to do is manipulate the indicator settings. You probably just want to use a different strategy. So yeah, it's quality over quantity here. We're not looking for like high quantity of entries. I mean, yeah, you could look for like 100 entries a day, but if you're losing like half of those and you're winning half of them, you wouldn't have made profit at the end of the day, right? So for me personally, I wouldn't take that approach. But yes, short answer to your question is there is the ability to basically change the settings to provide for more entries if you really wanted to do that, but not something that I'd recommend. All right, possible entry right here, guys. There's a sell signal that's pending. If this breaks and closes below pivots 1 and 2, then possible entry right there for a sell. But I'm not sure if it's going to close. It does not look like it's going to close. And no, it didn't close. So no entry there. The candle did break and close below, but no sell signal. So no entry off this. Yeah, Glenn said the market today feels like a trap. It does. Like the entire market feels like a trap today. But it's all good. I mean, these days like this are like, they're due to happen at some point, right? There's another entry right here that's possibly coming up. This is for Vincent's strategy. So you're not sure if anyone's looking to take this one, but this is for Vince's. If it closes with the sell signal, it's going to be below pivot 3. This is not my strategy, but this is Vince's criteria. If anyone's following his criteria. That's why I have pivot 3 on here. I don't use pivot 3 myself, but Vince uses it on his, and that's why it's there. Does not look like it's closing. Another possible opportunity right here. Yeah, exactly. Satyam said, sorry about the loss, but your strategy worked, mate. That's the main point. Yeah, no, that's a key thing, guys. I think the main thing as well is to just, sometimes you're going to get caught in trades where, and this happens to me all the time. This is what's been happening a lot during this week, where the spread kind of gets in the way or the execution is kind of late. And then it'll hit your TP here on TradingView, but technically the trade's still technically running, right? So for these other trades, like if you guys have saw the trades that happened during this week, a lot of these I pulled early because they hit TP, but then I would just pull them out early. Like it blasts right through TP and it wouldn't close me out. So I just pull out early. But it's all good. As long as the strategy works, I think that's the main key for basically everyone here. Yeah, Barack said this week's been so messy. Yeah, I agree with you, Barack, 100%. Like I think Tuesday was like Trap Tuesday for us. That's kind of where we had that loss as well. Tuesdays where we had like 3 back-to-back wins, and then all of a sudden we had 1 loss because we traded after 8 o'clock. I personally don't like the way that the market's moving, so it's getting close to 8 o'clock. I don't know if I'll trade after 8. The main reason is because the volatility here is very low. As you guys can see, the market was moving pretty quickly or pretty smoothly earlier in the session. So like right here, this whole area was moving pretty smooth. right? This was a smooth move down. As soon as price started to retrace up the other way, it started to move very slow. So price is now pushing to the upside. And as you guys can see, the volume here is very low as price continues to go sideways for a bit. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Nice. Nick made 180 profit for the day, so that's solid. Let's see. LW's asking, Sean, I know you enjoy golfing, but is there any chance that you do some live sessions during other sessions so we can have your thought during those sessions? So that's the thing. I don't trade during other sessions, LW. So that would defeat the purpose. I don't have a thought during those sessions because the market's pretty much dead. I would never trade during London because I'm here in the US. So by the time it's London session, I got to wake up for New York session, right? So me trading during London is like, it's out of the question because I'll be so tired once we get to New York session. And for Asia session, there's no entries there. There's no set time where I can just trade. If there was a time where there was volatility during Asia, then I would trade during that time. But there's no set time. Like you could be on from like because Asia session starts at 2 p.m., right? You could be on from like 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. and the market will just be flat the entire day. So there's no point in trading during Asia. So for one, there's just no point in even analyzing that type of market. Because for Asia, I feel like Asia, there's a lot of luck. So there's a lot of luck involved. When I do trade Asia, it's like I'll be on the charts like every couple hours. So I'll just be like looking at my computer every once in a while, or I'll be doing work in the background and I'll just have my charts open. So if I'm like sitting on the chart during Asia, between 6 and 10, if I see the market start moving like around 8 o'clock, like there's a news event, then I'll maybe look for an entry. But for the most part, I'm never trading during Asia. That's why I'm doing other stuff during the day. So, there's not really if there was a set time, then yeah, I could do it. I think London would be a good time to take a look at the charts, but it's impossible for me to trade during London because I'd have to wake up so London starts midnight my time, and then New York session opens at 6:30. So if I was trading during London, I'd be up at like midnight, and if I go to sleep for 3 hours and I wake up at 6:30, I'm going to be drained by the time it comes time for our actual live session. So yeah, I mean, you can try it out yourself. If there's something that you want to look at during Asia, you can look at it and you can send me charts or you can post your charts in the chat. But for the most part, there's not going to be anything for you to look at. There's not like a set hour where I'm like, okay, I'll sit down for an hour and then look for entries. We'll just be on the chart during Asia. Like I'll show you Asia from yesterday, right? So like we'll sit here in Asia for like 3 hours and you're just going to see a lot of sideways movement. And you're not going to be able to cover spread because like the spread's just not, it just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense, right? Because the spread's going to be like double right now. Right now it's like 150, 190. It's like 300. So say, for example, you're going for a 100 pip move. So this is the move that you're going to go for, right? And then you got to cover spread on top of that. So yeah, Asia session is just it's not really worth it unless like you want to hold on to that position for like a couple hours. And then even at that point, it's still going to be a maybe type entry. Let's see. So LW said, I want to get the challenge done with your strat. I figure that 2 hours a day might be a little bit short. And just to secure, I want to spend more hours in front of the computer. So, more hours doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do better, LW. You could take one trade during Asia and you'll lose like 1 or 2 trades, and then you're deeper in the hole. So if you would have just not traded during Asia, you'd be in a better position, right? I mean, you're basically rushing it at this point. Because if you think about it, look at the trades from March, right? We had 20 trades for March. If you did 20 trades for March and you had no losses, like Jacob over here, basically, so the thing is you're overcompensating, right? Like I don't think unless you understand like how percentages are provided, these percentages aren't like necessarily the percentages that you would take because you would take higher risk if you're in a challenge phase. But like, for example, right here, so we have 20 wins for this month so far, right? For for March. So if you do 20 wins and if you're doing a 1% risk, I'm doing low risk because I'm already funded. I don't need to go for like big risk. You know, it just doesn't make sense for me personally because it just increases your probability of losing the account. So for you, you're in a challenge. You can use a bigger lot size. But for me, so like say, for example, if you're doing 1% risk, right? 1% risk, we have 20 wins for the month of March. So if you're doing a 1% risk, that's 20% gain, right? We had 2 losses this month for the entire month. So you subtract that by 2, you'd still be up 18%. So you'd be way past your challenge. You'd be past your challenge and your verification in 1 month. So I think that you just don't understand like the risk parameters, right? Because there's enough trades here. There's enough trades within the live session times. It's just that you're not using proper risk. If you're using baby lot sizes, then obviously you're not going to pass, right? It's impossible. But you got to understand how to use proper risk. If you're doing like 1% per trade and you have 20 trades, that's 20% win right there. You'd be way past it. So I think what you should be focusing on is understanding how to use proper lot sizing and proper risk versus taking more trades, because more trades just increases your risk. Like you could take 100 trades with like 0.5% risk or like less than 1%, and you'll still get to the same point. It's just you need to take some risk and increase your lot size. That's going to be the main thing. So we have one lower low right here, guys, and possibly an entry right here if we get a buy signal. Yeah, I know, I saw your message, Eunice. I'm still looking, and I have my my volume up. So if I get a momentum signal, it's going to let me know. But thanks for the heads up, Eunice. Okay, so looking at this right here. Here we go as price coming back down. So looking back at the entry that we took earlier, guys, right here, looks like we kind of just got screwed on that one. So if we were using maybe a 25.50, and now it still would have stopped out, but you can see how price kind of pushed up right here, baked out, and then it came right back down. There's a possible entry right here for Vince's strategy. I actually know it wouldn't, because there's the high lows in between and it's too far out. But yeah, price is just correcting back down right now. There's no entry for us to take at the moment, but it is pushing right back down below. So let's see where we are currently at right now. It's 8 o'clock though, so I don't think I'm gonna be looking for any more entries at this point. Let me see your message, Jacob. So let's see. %. What if the numbers add up to? So I'm trying to do the math in my head, Jacob. Wait, why would it be that? I'm trying to figure out. No, I'm talking about 1% profit, Jacob. So you're doing 1% profit, 3% risk, because if we don't lose, so if you lose a trade, you're done for the day, right? Because you can do a 3% risk. So yeah, if you do a 1% profit with 3% risk, it would add up to 20. Because if you're doing a challenge, you got to pass right away, right? So you're trying to like increase the risk. But if you know that the strategy has a high win rate, like if you lose like once a day, then you're just done for the day. But if you do because you obviously can't risk more than 6. But if you do 1%, like for example, for the month of March, we didn't have any losses except for Tuesday, which probably would have been missed because you didn't trade after 8. If you didn't trade after 8, you would have been fine. So yeah, I know, sorry. It was just the wording that I was using. So you could just increase the lot size, and then you can, because the thing is, like, if you just have all wins, I mean, even for the month of February, right? February, 12 wins, 4 losses. January, 17 wins, 2 losses. Like if you were to like just do it, where if you have a loss one day, like for example, today, if we had like a bunch of trades and then I had 1 loss, I would just call it a day. I'd just be done, right? So Yeah, no, exactly. Sorry, the wording was wrong. So I think that's where the confusion arose. But let me just scroll up real quick. I'm going to see if there's any other questions here before I wrap it up. Kevin said, "Hey Sean, I had to step away. Have you had any official trades today?" We had one trade, Kevin. Unfortunately, the price kind of just bounced around. Some people got in for a discount because we waited for the pullback. So half of the people here made profit, and half of the people took like a loss on the trade. I took a loss, and I counted it as a loss because trade just kind of went opposite of us. It was kind of expected because how the market was moving. But just one official trade today, didn't hit CP unfortunately, but it's all good because we're still up for the week. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Yeah, Satyam said after 8 it ranges, so I'm done for the day. Thanks a lot, Sean. Definitely, Satyam. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Glenn's asking, what's a percentage of risk would you recommend during the challenge phase? I mean, it depends on you, Glenn. So for me, I'm very disciplined. Like, for example, today I took one loss and I'm pretty much done. But for other people, they can't take that loss, right? So if you're that type of person that can't take the loss, then you should probably risk about 2% per trade because you'll have 2 opportunities to bounce back, or you have 1 opportunity to bounce back if you have a loss. For me personally, I could do a 3% risk because if I do lose a trade, I already understand that the market's probably not working for me that day because I typically don't lose very often. So depending on your risk appetite, if you're like me, you can be disciplined, just one loss a day, and you're done. Then you could probably do a 3% risk, if not higher, because you'll have more wins and losses, and it'll just equate to more profit or higher win percentage, or not higher percentage of gain. But if you have not the best trade psychology, you probably want to risk about 1 to 2%, or 1% is kind of low, so probably like 1.5% to 2%. So you can take maybe 2 trades and still be okay. Let's see. Yeah, definitely, Frederick. We'll see you back here on Friday, next live session. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Sorry, let me just scroll over here real quick. I'm just going to answer whatever questions we have, and then we're going to wrap it up for the day. Let's see. So LW is asking, Sean, when you were talking about adjusting your lot size with an 80-100 lot, what would you increase your TP stop loss? No, you would increase your lot size. Your TP stop loss isn't going to make a difference because the strategy is based off a set TP stop loss, right? So your TP stop loss doesn't change, your lot size would change. Unless you're doing a different strategy. If you're using a strategy where you're using a higher TP stop loss, then yeah, it makes sense. But the TP stop losses are pretty much set because they're based on conditions. Like, you're not going to use a 250 to 500 TP stop loss if the market's moving very slow. Like, for example, here the volume is very low, so you're not going to go for a 250 pip move, right? Because you're going to be stuck in that position for like an hour. These are scalp trades, so you want to be in and out very quickly. If the market's moving fast, like it was earlier over here, then it's fine to do a 25-50 because you can get out of the position. So when discussing risk, you would have to increase your lot size. If you're using a 10-30 split, like I'll show you the difference here. So the difference here is 25-50, and then the other one right here is 10-30. So you can see the difference here between adjusting your TP stop loss. So if the market's moving slow, there's no way you're going to use this big one. It's just not going to make sense. If the market's moving slow like this, you're going to use the same 10-30 split, but you're just going to adjust your lot size. So you got to take bigger risk if that's the case. But in a lot of instances, even if you use lower risk, FTMO will give you an extension. I don't know if you've ever gotten an extension before, but if you're in profit like a certain amount, they'll just give you an extra 30 days or an extra 15 days to finish off your challenge. So I don't know if the thing with passing these challenges, guys, is that there's no rush. Like, it could take you 30 days, it can take you 45 days, it can take you 60 days. It doesn't matter as long as you pass. That's the key thing, right? So I feel like with a lot of people who are not funded, you guys feel the pressure to pass your challenge really quickly. But realistically, if you just focus on winning, you're going to pass your challenge eventually. It's just going to take longer. Yeah, Patricia said candle movement sucks. I agree. I'm not liking it right now at all. Let me scroll down a little bit, even right now. So right now, the market's like literally not moving at all. If you guys look at how it's moving right now, it's like pretty much dead period. Going sideways. Let me see if there's anything else over here. Yeah, Jonathan said you also get a 14-day extension if you're at 5% before your challenge ends. Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind too. Yeah, Frederick said, or just take the official entries. We haven't had a losing streak, so I don't know for how long. Yeah, I don't think we've had more than I don't think we've ever had two back-to-back losses during our live sessions, like ever. So I think if you stick to the official trades, you'll be fine. I think the last loss we had was like on Tuesday, but we had like a bunch of wins in between. Yeah, Nick said risk for 1.5% is 5 lots for that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nick said as long as you end the month in profit, you're good. Jacob said if you rock a 600K MFF and 400K on FTMO, it's very doable. You'd be rocking 1 mil in assets under management. You can do fine with a 5% ROI. Yeah, and that's super low risk. That's exactly what I'm doing. So Jacob, what Jacob just mentioned, if you have a lot of funded accounts like I do, you don't really have to go for that many trades and you don't have to go for that much risk. For my trades here, I'm only going for a less than a 1% risk, or I'm doing a 1.5% risk for 0.5% profit. But you multiply that by 5, so I have 5 accounts. So 0.5% risk or 0.5% profit times 5, I'm technically making 2.5 per trade that I take. So it adds up. Yeah, exactly. And LW, so that's his goal exactly. Yeah. So I think the hardest part right now is probably getting funded for a lot of people. But once you get funded, it's a smooth sail because you're taking such low risk and you're just stacking up the wins every day. Yeah, exactly. Jacob said we're also taking more trades now than usual, so more losses will be seen as well. Yeah, and I agree, guys. Hopefully not, Jacob. Hopefully more wins, but yeah. For this month was actually pretty good. If you look at this month, March compared to February and January, we had more wins and less losses for basically the entire year for just the month of March. But yeah, no, I think this month's been pretty all right. Even though I know it hasn't been good for a lot of other people, but for us here, it's been pretty solid. All right, guys, it's 8:10. If there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just not feeling the market right now. I was going to stay on until 9, but the way that the market's currently moving is just not it. It's just going sideways and we're not really having much direction here. So I don't think we're even going to have any entries from now until 9 o'clock. Plus we have the Fed speaking later on today at I believe 8:30 and 9. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. You can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, you guys can also message me on Telegram at KodiKaiTrades. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. All right, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you guys have more profit to post up. Actually, we have some profits over here from Kevin. So Kevin's up 23,620 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Kevin. Yeah, solid profits right there on Kevin's side, as usual. We have Maddie over here up about 1,000 for the day. We have Barack over here, total profit of 2,651 for the day, just one small loss. Nice work, Brock. And then Brock locked in a little more over here, total profit of 4,684. So solid work right there, Brock. Looks like you were trading NASDAQ and also trading some US30. Let's see, Barack said, I got a few more, somewhat revenge trading done for real, logged out, no longer have the password. My wife has to log me in and she has instructions not to when I hit 2,500. Nice work, Barack. So Barack kind of got his wife into it. So like whenever Barack hits his profit target, he logs out and then he can't log back in. So this is actually a good idea for Barack because Barack's problem is over trading and revenge trading. So nice idea right there, Barack. I never thought about that, but smart decision there. Patricia over here, she's currently up well over 2,000 for the day. Nice for Patricia on her first account. and her other account 1,180 for the day. So great work right there, Patricia. All wins. Other than that, let's see. We got Vincent over here, total profit of 486. Nice work, Vincent. He actually took that buy earlier today, the one that we were talking about. So great work right there, Vincent. And other than that, that's about it. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session as we officially